just do this as I go along. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Do we have any interpreter matters or? No, okay. All right. So we're going to start with, good morning, ma'am. Is your true name Erica Lynn Parker?
Sure.
All right. This is a time set for an initial appearance. You have failed to appear for an arraignment on charges of possession of a dangerous drug and possession of drug paraphernalia. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you in some instances. The state, let's see here, I'm going to appoint the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you. And let's see here. It looks like you are also in custody on another charge. The state is recommending that you be held on bond. And then defense counsel have a recommendation.
Yes, Your Honor. I'd ask that you impose a very low bond, $500 in this case. I would note that Ms. Parker was arrested on the day that she's alleged to have missed the arraignment. So that might not have been a voluntary absence. But seeing as she is in custody on other charges, we would ask that you impose a $500 bond so she gets time credit.
All right, so Ms. Parker, I'm gonna, it looks like you're being held on $1,000 bond on the theft case. You have an arraignment on the 31st. I'll hold you on $500 cash bond, pretrial services if posted, no alcohol or illegal drugs. Your arraignment in this case is February 4th at 1:30 p.m. at Pima County Superior Court. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, that's it for today.
So I'm still ready to talk.
Good morning, sir. Is your true name Jaden Betters?
Yes, ma'am.
The time is set for a review hearing. You're being held on a $5,000 cash or secured bond for a warrant out of Maricopa County for a charge of misconduct involving weapons. So what we do is we continue to review this warrant while you resolve your local charges, and then Maricopa County can come and retrieve you on that warrant. So your next review hearing is February 28th at 9 a.m. and your bond will remain $5,000 cash or secured. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, that's it for today. Thank you.
Good morning, Judge Jail here.
Good morning.
I just wanted to let the court be advised that Miss Rios is still at the hospital.
Rios?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, so we will continue Miss Amanda Lynn Rios to the evening PM initial appearance calendar.
Your Honor, this one has been continued several times. It's a wrong-way DUI, and however, experience has taught me the court is usually inclined to set a $2,500 bond. Is the court inclined to do that, or do we want to wait till she's here in person?
At least right now, I'd like to wait until she's here in person. Do you know how many
Okay.
times it's been continued?
This would make, I think this is day 3, the beginning of day 3 for her.
And for the jail, you said she's in the hospital?
Yes, Judge.
Any idea when she's going to be out of the hospital?
No, ma'am.
Right. Why don't we, I'll just bump it. I don't know. Does defense counsel want to continue without her at this point? What's your position?
Your Honor, having not spoken with her, I prefer to continue it and try to get some information from Ms. Rios before we go forward with an IA.
Okay. So for the state, I mean, she's held without bond until she has the IA, so we can address
It's
it.
fine, Your Honor.
She's out of the hospital, at least for now. So she'll be continued to the evening initial appearances on both of her cases. She also has a Nogales Justice Court case as well. Do you want to add, Marty, do you want? I didn't do it to the first one, but you want to do it? Okay, I'll add it to this one. Okay. Good morning, sir. Is your true name Alexander Trejo?
Yes, ma'am.
This is the time set for a review hearing. We are reviewing, hold on a second. Okay. Let me see. Give me just 1 second. Okay, it doesn't say it in here like it usually does. Okay, do you want me to add it? Or, okay. All right, sir, we're just trying to figure this out. So you are currently being held on a $50,000 bond for a warrant out of Santa Cruz County for a theft and drug possession case. We will continue to review that warrant until your local charges are resolved. Your next review hearing is February 28th at 9 a.m. You will remain held on a $50,000 cash or secured, cash or secured bond. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, that's all for today. Thank you.
And Your Honor, sorry for the interruption. This is the Spanish court interpreter. Can we check to see if we have Spanish speakers?
Sure. Do we have any Spanish speakers from the jail?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
May the interpreter be excused, Your Honor?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
You too. Good morning, sir. Is your true name Thomas James Vanis Story?
Yes, please.
All right, this is the time set for a review hearing on a warrant out of Maricopa County. You're being held on a $1,500 cash or secured bond for a charge of possession of drugs for sale from that jurisdiction. We will continue to review your case and that
Judge.
warrant. Yes.
I've been informed that this case was resolved to a sentence on the 6th of this month.
No, I get sent to.
Oh, okay.
In a couple days.
Sorry, I misunderstood. Get sentenced on February 6th coming up.
Okay. All right. So, sir, you're going to continue to be held on the $1,500 cash or secured bond on the Maricopa warrant until your case is resolved. So if you're going to get sentenced, we're going to go ahead and keep the review hearing February 28th, but Maricopa County will that date and it'll get vacated. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right.
Take. But what I'm going to DOC, so are they going to send me to DOC and then take it from there, or can we just come back on the 7th and resolve this issue? Or
So it doesn't work that way. Maricopa County is entitled to have some time to come and retrieve you. I'm not sure how they will coordinate with Department of Corrections, but I'm going to go ahead and leave the 28th in place so that they have time for that process.
okay, sounds good.
All right.
I'll probably go here before I go. All right, cool. Thank you. Good luck. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
That word is you said it was yeah. Yeah, serious.
Yeah, see.
I missed me. Was that another one?
Yeah, I know. Even you said it 3 seconds. But thank you. You are gonna. Next thing.
Good
All the way around.
morning, ma'am. Is your true name Katie Lynn Anderson?
Yes,
This is the time set for an initial appearance. You've been arrested for a couple of misdemeanor cases. One is possession of marijuana out of Tucson City Court. That case is from 2017. It's been bumping along since then. You're also been arrested on a drug paraphernalia charge where you failed to appear out of Green Valley Justice Court. So you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. In some instances, if you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. So Ms. Anderson, just based on the nature of these charges, I'm going to allow you to be released on your promise to appear, but you need to get into court and resolve these, especially the marijuana case. I'm guessing it might get dismissed because it's legal,
okay,
but you need to show up to court. So
okay,
for the city court case, February 26th at 9 a.m. in front of Judge Verena for a pretrial conference. If you don't show up, this is going to keep happening. So make sure you get that
Okay.
on your calendar. For the Green Valley case, your case management, and that's paraphernalia charge. For that case, your case management is February 6th at 8:30. If you don't show up, they'll issue a warrant again for your arrest. That case
okay,
looks like it's from 2013. So do you promise to appear and take care of these?
yes, I promise.
All right. And you are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs in both of these cases. Do you understand?
Okay,
All right, that's all
Yes.
for today. Thank you.
So that's a meeting Green Valley at 8:30. That's later on. It's okay.
okay,
Different days and different courts.
okay,
You understand?
yes,
So that.
thank you.
Gordon. The John Street Seats, Gordon. John Street Seats. No.
Hello,
Good morning, ma'am. Is your true name Cheyenne Gordon?
yes,
All right, this is the time set for an initial appearance. You've been arrested on a couple of different charges here. Let me just look here. Where are we at? Domestic violence, assault, and domestic violence, disorderly conduct, and fighting. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. Give me just a minute. All right, so ma'am, based on the nature of the charges, I am going to order that you're held on $500 cash bond. Your attorney is Stan Fitzgerald. We're going to give you his contact information. Court date is February 4th at 3 p.m. Saurita Municipal Court. Your release conditions are as follows. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, commit no acts of domestic violence, possess no firearms or weapons, no contact by request with the alleged victim or the alleged victim's residence or workplace. You may return one time to the police escort to retrieve any personal belongings from your shared residence. And so this is your cousin Kelly indicating that he does not wish to have contact or for you to return there. Your mother, Monica, and your cousins Scarlett and Mackenzie did not give a statement. So I'm going to allow you contact with them, but no contact. Do you understand?
$500, and I was San Fitzgerald. Am I free to leave though today, right?
If you pay the bond, you can leave it after that.
What if I need it? If I
I'll be there in a little bit to answer questions.
Thank you.
Garfield?
Good morning, sir. Is your true name Averill Henry Hartfeld?
Yes.
All right, this is the time set for an initial appearance. You've been arrested on charges of domestic violence, disorderly conduct, fighting, domestic violence, assault. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. In some instances, if you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. Give me just 1 minute, please. All right, sir, I'm going to allow you to be released on your promise to appear. Your next court date is February 27th at 10:30 a.m. Pima County Justice Court in front of the Honorable Erica Cornejo. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, commit no acts of domestic violence, possess no firearms or weapons. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right, that's all for today.
Mr. Lopez? Hartfield, all the way up.
Good morning, sir. Is your true name Dominic Andrew Lopez?
Yes, ma'am.
This is the time set for an initial appearance. Give me just a minute here. All right. So you have been arrested on a failure to appear for a warrant for a out of Pima County Justice Court for a DUI charge. Let's see here, and actually, it looks like your judge has indicated that you have not complied with the conditions of your unsupervised probation, which includes there's certain classes that you have to take and so forth. So the judge would like to talk to you about that. I will allow you to be released. Your court date is January 29th. That's tomorrow at 2 p.m. in front of Judge Foster. So you need to show up and she's going to talk to you about what you're supposed to be doing on your probation. If you don't show up, a warrant will issue again. Do you understand?
No.
All right, that's all for today. What is going on?
45. Yeah, that's up there. Oh, that's up.
Morning, sir. Eric.
Yes,
All
yes.
right, give me just a minute, please. All right. All right, sir, this is the time set for an initial appearance. You've been arrested on a charge of assault, domestic violence. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. In some instances, if you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. Sir, I'm going to allow you to be released on your promise to appear. Your court date is February 27th at 10:30 a.m. in front of Judge Erica Cornejo, Pima County Justice Court. If you fail to appear, a warrant could issue for your arrest. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, commit no acts of domestic violence, possess no firearms or weapons. The victim in this case, Sabrina Crowley, is not objecting to having contact with you or having you return to your shared residence at this time. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, that's all for today.
It's good. We'll have a seat down there. Start calling.
Good morning, ma'am. Is your true name Christine Bartholomew?
Yes.
This is the time set for an initial appearance. You've been arrested on charges of domestic violence, disorderly conduct, and domestic violence assault. You do have the right to be, you have the right to remain silent. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you in some instances, and anything you say today can and will be used against you. All right. So, ma'am, I will allow you to be released on your promise to appear. Your next court date is February 28th at 9 a.m. in front of Judge Million. That's for an arraignment in Tucson City Court. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, commit no acts of domestic violence, possess no firearms or weapons. Miss Amanda Taylor was not able to be reached, so at this point in time, you are allowed to have contact with her and return to your shared residence. If you do share a residence. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, that's all for today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Diversity.
Good morning, sir. Is your true name Joseph Hersey?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. This is the time set for an initial appearance. You've been arrested on charges of domestic violence, disorderly conduct, fighting, and domestic violence assault. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. In some instances, if you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. So, sir, based on the nature of this offense and the victim's wishes, I'm going to order that you be held on $500 cash bond. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs if you post the bond, commit no acts of domestic violence, possess no firearms or weapons, no contact of any kind with the alleged victim at her request. Do not go to the victim's residence or the incident location. You may return one time with a police escort to retrieve any personal items. City Public Defender is appointed to represent you. You are to have no unsupervised contact with this minor victim at this point in time. Your next court date is February 5th at 1:30 p.m. for an arraignment in Tucson City.
Sure.
All right. That's all for today.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Is your true name Freedom Patrick McLean?
Yes, ma'am.
This is a time set for an initial appearance. You've been arrested for failing to appear for charges of assault, domestic violence, disorderly conduct, domestic violence. That's at a Tucson City Court. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. Sir, because these charges are from several years ago, 2021, I am going to order that you be held on $500 cash bond. If you post that bond, you are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, commit no acts of domestic violence, possess no firearms or weapons. Tucson City Public Defender is appointed to represent you, and your next court date is February 7th at 1:45 p.m. in front of Judge Verena, Tucson City Court for a pretrial conference. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, that's all for today.
Ms. Reed.
Good morning, ma'am. Is your true name Brittany Ann Ring?
Yeah.
All right, this is a time set for an initial appearance. You have been arrested, misdemeanor charge of domestic violence, disorderly conduct, noise. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. In some instances, if you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. So, Ms. Ring, I am going to allow you to be released on your promise to appear. Your next court date is February 28th at 9 a.m. for an arraignment in front of Judge Millian, Tucson City Court. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, commit no acts of domestic violence, possess no firearms or weapons. Mr. Common, your boyfriend is not objecting to having contact with you or having you return to your shared residence, so you may do so. Do you understand?
Could I just 1 moment, Your Honor?
Sure.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Do you understand, ma'am?
Yes,
All right.
yes.
For today? Thank you.
If we can.
Can you get after that?
Oh, thank you.
Mr. Coughlin?
Good morning, ma'am. Is your true name Giovanna Montero Rojo or Rojo
Yes.
Montenegro? Sorry. Is it Montero? It's Montero.
Yes.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, so the jail seat just got it wrong then. Just want to make sure that the system has the right name. It says Rojo Montenegro. Does this sheet? All right, Miss Rojo Montero, this is a time set for an initial appearance. You've been arrested on charges of domestic violence, disorderly conduct, and assault. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to be represented by an attorney in some instances. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. So, Ms. Rojo Montero, I am going to allow you to be released on your promise to appear. Your next court date is February 28th at 9 a.m. That's Tucson City Court for an arraignment. You do need to appear or a warrant could issue for your arrest. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, commit no acts of domestic violence, possess no firearms or weapons. The alleged victim in the case is not objecting to having contact with you. I understand that you do not reside with Mr. Diaz, but he is wanting to have contact, so you are allowed to have contact with him. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, that's all for today.
Thank you.
Mr. Wilson?
Good morning, sir. Is your true name James Patrick Wilson?
Yes.
This is a time set for an initial appearance. Let's see here. You've been arrested on an older charge of theft, shoplifting. Give me just a minute. Give me just a minute here.
In jail.
All right, looks like the charge is for failure to appear and it was from earlier last year. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. Sir, based on the age of the case and your failure to appear, I'm going to order that you be held in $100 cash bond. Your next I'm sorry?
We heard just very briefly on this. It's my understanding that he was in custody in another county until just very recently and got picked up on his release from a different county. So
I got bonded out. They didn't even take care of that. This warrant.
well, it's out of a different county. So that makes sense. But he was in custody on another county. So I would ask you to give that a chance to release on this. He is on bond in the case.
All right, well, I appreciate that, counsel, but I'm looking back through the file and there's been several warrants issued in this case. There's been several missed court appearances, so it wasn't just one point in time. We're talking about all the way back to last spring of 2024. So I am going to, based on that, order that he be held on the $500 cash bond. Your next court date is February 7th at 1:45 p.m. in front of Judge Maldonado for a pretrial conference. If you do post the bond, you are not to return to the incident location. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. City public defender is appointed to represent you. Do you understand, sir?
Yeah.
All right, that's all for today.
Nice.
Good morning, ma'am. Is your true name Nicole Baker?
Yes.
All right, this is the time set for an initial appearance. You have been arrested on charges of domestic violence, child vulnerable adult abuse, ag DUI with a passenger under 15, endangerment, domestic violence, assault with intent to injure. That's a misdemeanor. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to be represented by an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. I am going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you in the felony charge. And then we'll talk about the misdemeanor in one moment. The state is requesting that you be held on bond. Counsel?
Yes, Your Honor. Could
Your
I
Honor,
have
we're
a- Sorry.
Sure.
My apologies. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Counsel.
Okay. Mr. Poston, was there anything you wanted to add to your recommendation?
Your Honor, the allegations here are somewhat troubling. We're looking at an ag DUI with 3 children in the vehicle, and then turns out same day the person assaulted somebody in their own home, and that person had to seek emergency medical treatment. $5,000.
Thank you. Counsel?
Thank you, Your Honor. I would ask that you give Ms. Baker a shot at pretrial services. She has no violent history. I know one of the concerns in the pretrial services workup was whether or not there is separate housing. Ms. Baker does inform me that she does have other options as alternative housing away from the alleged victims in this case. Additionally, she is a long-term community member. She isn't a flight risk. For those reasons, I would ask that you give her a shot at pretrial services. Thank you.
Thank you, counsel. Well, based on the allegations here, Ms. Baker, I am going to find that you're a threat to the victims. I'm going to order that you be held on $5,000 cash or secured bond. Your preliminary hearing is February 7th at 1:30 p.m. Pima County Justice Court. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, commit no acts of domestic violence, possess no firearms or weapons. You'll be monitored by pretrial services if you post the bond. Do not drive without a valid license. Do not drink and drive. No contact with the alleged victims. I'm going to say in this case, no unsupervised contact with the minor children, because there's 2 separate cases. One involves your mom, one involves the children. So no unsupervised contact with the children. And then regarding the misdemeanor case, based on the nature, the allegations are that you're alleged to have slammed your mom's head into something, injuring her, causing her to have to go and get stitches. So that is very concerning. I'm going to order that you be held on $1,500 cash bond. Your next court date is January 29th at 1 p.m. Pima County Justice Court. Same conditions of release: no alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence, no firearms or weapons. And in this situation, your mom is requesting no contact. So no contact with the alleged victim or her residence and workplace. If you do reside there, you may return one time with a police escort to pick up your belongings. Do you understand, Ms. Baker?
Yeah.
All right.
Your Honor, it was my understanding from the pretrial services workup that Ms. Baker's mother is the caretaker for the children. Can Ms. Baker, since the court allowed supervised contact with the children, is Ms. Baker allowed to have contact with her mother to facilitate visitation, or no contact whatsoever? And if that's the case, how would the court prefer she get that supervised contact with the children?
So your mom has custody of your kids?
My understanding from the pretrial services workup was that the kids are staying with the mom, at least temporarily. I don't know if there's legal orders in place for that, but that was my understanding, was that the children are residing with her.
Okay. I was just trying to find out if there were legal orders in place, as that will make a difference. Or does your client have any other place for the kids to stay, or is there?
I haven't been able to make phone calls, but I'm sure there is if she does not want them to reside over there.
So Ms. Baker, do you have a third party that can interact with your mom for the supervised visitation?
Yes.
All right, so that's what I'm going to do. I'll just say arrange for visitation with the children with a third party. Okay, no contact with your mom.
Okay.
Okay.
And was public defender appointed on that, or on the felony?
Let's see here. Marty, can you tell me who? Baker, who was appointed? I think it was legal defense. PD. PD. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's your lawyer's number. Such a $200.
Negative premium.
Change that, you'll get.
Elmer.
Yeah. After,
All right. Good morning, sir. Is your true name Christopher Elmer?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is a time set for an initial appearance. You've been arrested on charges of shoplifting. Let's see here. Trafficking and possession of a dangerous drug and possession of a narcotic drug. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will do it for you. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender to represent you. It looks like you're also on probation on 2 cases. The state is recommending that you be held on bond. Anything else, Neil?
No, Your Honor.
I have been informed that there is probation hold on Mr. Elmer now, so I would ask for a nominal bond to the nearest tax rate. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so Mr. Elmer, there's a probation hold, which means you're being held without bond on 2 other cases. So I'm going to go ahead and impose a $5,000 cash or secured bond pretrial. If posted, your next court date is February 7th at 1:30 for an arraignment in Pima County. I'm sorry, that's a preliminary hearing, Pima County Justice Court. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, monitoring by pretrial services, no contact with the alleged victim in this case, and no returning to the incident location. And that was Lowe's on Speedway. Do you understand?
Yep.
All right, that's all for today.
Yeah.
Your Honor, this is the jail. We just had a little bit of a power surge, so don't be alarmed if we go out there.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Good morning, ma'am. Is your true name Leslie Broderick?
Yes, she can hear you. Is her name Leslie Broderick?
Is she
No.
deaf? Oh,
Hello.
nobody told us. All right, so Pear, I don't know. All right, we're gonna try to get a sign. What's that? Yeah, a sign language interpreter. So we're gonna pass Miss Broderick's case for now.
If I could just write her a note real quick.
Yes.
Can't see either.
It's last night, so look at the sunny blizzard, man. Like, oh,
Okay. But she's saying she can't see either, Your Honor.
Okay.
So
She can't, so she wouldn't be able to see the sign language interpreter either. So she can't see you even that close?
she was getting very close to the screen when I held up the paper. She looked at me in the face. It didn't seem to recognize that I was holding a paper for her to read.
Okay.
That's all the information I can give the court at this time.
Okay. All right, well, we'll still, I guess we'll try to pass this for now and try to figure this out. We'll do the rest of the calendar and come back to her. Okay,
although this is appearance for perverts, I do not think that's healthy.
all right, Jill, we're ready for Mr. Corrales. We're gonna take Ms. Broderick back. Good morning, sir. Is your true name Oscar Daryl Corrales?
Yes, ma'am.
This is the time set for an initial appearance. You have been arrested on failure to appear for a misdemeanor case out of Tucson City Court. You also have a felony case. Give me just a minute here. You've been arrested for possession of a dangerous drug and aggravated driving under the influence. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. I am going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. For the felony case, we'll start there. State, let's see here. State is recommending that you be held on bond. Mr. Poston, anything else you want to add?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Pear.
Thanks. I would ask that you give Mr. Corrales a shot on pretrial services. This is a personal possession case. If you look at his criminal history, it's entirely substance abuse disorder dependent. It's a non-violent offense. He has no violent history. For those reasons, I'd ask to give him a shot on pretrial services.
I started going to treatment as well.
Pear, I was,
What the hell?
hold on a second, sir. Pear, I was talking about there's also a DUI.
I thought that was a misdemeanor.
No, it's
My-
the license.
My recommendation would be the same. I would ask you to give a shot on pretrial services.
All right, thank you. So, Mr. Corrales, based on the nature of this offense, which is a DUI, I'm concerned for the community. I'm going to order that you be held on $5,000 cash or secured bond, pretrial services supervision if posted. Your next court date is a preliminary hearing, February 7th at 1:30 p.m. You are to not drive without a valid license, possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, do not drink and drive, and you're going to be monitored by pretrial services. And then we need to talk about, you have failed to appear for a driving on a suspended license out of a Saurita Municipal Court case. And that is, again, a failure to appear. So I'm going to order that you be held on $500 cash bond. Your attorney is Stan Fitzgerald. Your next court date is February 4th at 3 p.m. For a case you are to possess no alcohol or illegal drugs. Do not drive without a valid license. And then the Tucson City Court case, sir, because you failed to appear as well, I'm going to order that you be held on $500 cash bond. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or drugs. City Public Defender is appointed to represent you. Your next court date is February 7th at 1:45 p.m. Tucson City Court in front of Judge King. It's a little bit hard to hear. For the jail, it's kind of hard to hear. We're getting a lot of voices on the line. Can you guys find out what that is? All right. Do you understand, Mr. Corrales?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, some words, not small. Oh, we have to.
Good morning, ma'am. Is your true name Norberta Adriana Cruz?
Yes.
This is a time set for an initial appearance. You've been arrested on a couple of different cases. One is a felony for shoplifting, possession of a dangerous drug for sale. The others are misdemeanors out of Tucson City Court and Pima County Justice Court. The Justice Court case is a shoplifting as well. And we'll talk about that in a minute. The City Court cases, warrants for failing to appear for disorderly conduct, domestic violence, contributing to the delinquency of a dependent, prescription drug possession, and possession of drugs in a drug-free school zone. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. I'm going to appoint the Pima County legal advocate to represent you in the shoplifting and drugs for sale case. State is recommending that you be held on bond. Hair?
Thank you, Your Honor. I would ask that you give Ms. Cruz a shot on pretrial services. I think the evidence of sales is only the 9 grams, which isn't the strongest evidence of sales. I think this really is more of a personal possession case. It's non-violent, no violent history. Her daughter is willing to accept third-party custody of her. However, her daughter does start a job today, and Ms. Cruz's granddaughter is in need of childcare, which Ms. Cruz is supposed to provide. Additionally, she's also the caretaker for her fiance. She's all provided. For those reasons, I would ask that you give Ms. Cruz a shot at pretrial services. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate your argument, counsel, but I am going to order that the defendant be held on $2,500 cash or secured bond pretrial if posted. It's based on the nature of the repeat nature of these offenses. Next court date is February 7th at 1:30 p.m. For a preliminary hearing, Pima County Justice Court. Do not return to the incident location. TJ Maxx. No alcohol or illegal drugs. Monitoring by pretrial services. And in the shoplifting case out of Pima County Justice Court, ma'am, because that case is now 2 years old, I'm going to order that you be held on $500 cash bond. Your next court date is tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pima County Justice Court in front of Judge Crystal Foster. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. Do not return to that incident location. Your attorney is Jill Gukin. We're going to give you her contact information. And in the city court case, ma'am, because you failed to appear in that case as well, I'm going to order that you be held on $500 cash bond. Possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, commit no acts of domestic violence, possess no firearms or weapons. City public defender is appointed to represent you. Your next court date is February 7th at 1:45 p.m. in front of Judge Cranshaw, Tucson City Court, for a pretrial conference for all of those cases. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, that's it for today.
Okay. Ms. Curley?
Okay, there's those. Thank you. All right. Good morning, ma'am. Is your true name Aaliyah K. Curley?
Yes.
All right, this is the time set for an initial appearance. I have to talk to you about 7 different cases, one of which is a felony. You've been arrested for domestic violence, criminal damage. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. And then we're going to talk about all of your misdemeanor cases after we discuss this case. Just see here. And you also have failed to appear for a criminal trespass charge, felony charge, and we need to talk about that one as well. The state, let's see here. Is recommending $7,500 bond, concurrent. Here.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would ask that you release Ms. Curley to the supervision of pretrial services. She has no felony or misdemeanor convictions. She has no violent history. For these reasons, I would ask that you give her a shot on pretrial services. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Ms. Curley, just based on the repetitive nature of these charges, and your long history here that I'm looking at right now for misdemeanors, I'm going to find that you're a danger to the community. I'm going to order that you be held on $7,500 cash or secured bond. Pretrial services if posted. Do not go to the incident location of the trespass. Your arraignment is February 4th at 1:30 p.m. No alcohol or illegal drugs. Monitoring by pretrial services. And that bond will be the same. Here. For the domestic violence charge, criminal damage charge, $7,500 cash or secured. Your preliminary hearing is February 7th at 1:30 p.m. No firearms or weapons, no acts of domestic violence, monitoring by pretrial services. And then we need to talk about your 5 other misdemeanor cases that are pending. So you've been arrested for failing to appear for multiple cases out of Pima County Justice Court and Tucson City Court. You have a criminal trespass, criminal damage, domestic violence, disorderly conduct, disturbing the peace, assault, recklessly causing injury. Those are all from 2023 where you failed to appear. Also from 2023, we have a domestic violence interfering with judicial proceeding and disorderly conduct, disturbing the peace. Also from 2023, we have another criminal damage, disorderly conduct, disturbing the peace. And from 2022, we have an assault and a disorderly conduct where you have continually failed to appear, and another assault from 2022. And then in Tucson City Court, it looks like a brand new disorderly conduct and assault stemming from the same incident. Or no, it's a different incident on the 27th. So in all of those cases, Ms. Curley, I'm going to order that you be held on $1,000 cash bond. Your attorney is Anna Dennis. For the DV assault, and it may be the same date for all of these. Your next court hearing is January 29th, so tomorrow at 1 p.m. in front of Judge Foster, Pima County Justice Court, for a case management conference. No alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence, no firearms or weapons. Let me just make sure. Yes, your court date is the same and your attorney is the same and your release conditions are the same if you post bond in all of those. And then we'll talk about your city court case.
Your Honor, this is the jail. Did the court address the failure to appear at a Superior Court? Failure to appear on
I'm sorry, can
initial.
you say that
The
again?
jail's inquiring about the failure to appear. Is that the one that you set for arraignment on February 4th at a Superior Court? The Trump pass, I believe it was.
Yes.
February 4th, arraignment. That's at 75% correct in the team.
Okay, and that was the Pima County Justice Court cases, and now we're going to talk about on city court cases. Multiple charges of disorderly conduct, assault, domestic violence, criminal damage, domestic violence. So I am going to order that you be held on $1,000 cash bond on those cases, possess no alcohol or illegal drugs, commit no acts of domestic violence, possess no firearms or weapons. City public defender is appointed to represent you on those cases. And then let me just check something here. Okay, so the victims, alleged victims in the case are your boyfriend, Dakota Chi, and roommate, Dion Chi. They do not wish further contact with you. They do not wish that you return there. So you are to have no contact of any kind with those two people. Do not go to their residence or workplace or the incident location. If you reside there, you may return one time with a police escort to retrieve any items that you have. Your next court date for those cases is going to be February 5th at 1:30 p.m. for an arraignment, Tucson City Court, in front of Judge Million. Do you understand, ma'am? All right, that's all for today.
Thank you.
You?
Yes. All the way on this.
So one of the
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, did we skip? Good morning. Is your true name Sonia Diaz?
See, yes,
Do you speak English?
yes, I do.
So you understand me?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. All right. So Ms. Diaz, you've been arrested on charges of possession of a narcotic drug. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you in this matter. State is recommending your release to supervision of pretrial services. So Ms. Diaz, I am going to allow you to be released today
Okay, thank you.
based on the nature of the charges. I do see that you've got quite a lot of interaction with the criminal justice system, but nothing since 2015 for felony.
Yeah, that was in the past when I was a kid, when I was young. I'm 56 years old now.
All right, so you do need to show up at court and
I will.
address this
I will.
matter. Your next court date is going to be a steps hearing. That is a diversion program that you may be eligible for, but you have to show up to find out. February 4th
Okay.
at 9 a.m. That's going to be in front of me, Judge Hampson, Pima County Superior Court.
Okay, thank you.
You are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. You're going to be monitored by pre-trial services.
Okay,
I'll see you next week, okay?
okay.
All right, thank you.
Your lawyer, and your hearing's just next week. Okay, make sure you show up for that. You can see how
I'm getting out around this day.
you're get out today. That's the court date. So you have court next
Yeah,
week.
but the judge put it, the judge for next month.
Talk to your lawyer
My
about
lawyer,
that.
okay.
Okay.
Counselor, she's not meeting the city courts. She has something.
Just what?
Adding down the charge.
Me? No, I don't. This is the only thing I,
I'll find out and talk to you. Okay?
okay.
Just a minute.
Okay. I'll be right with you, ma'am. All right. Good morning, ma'am. Let me see here. Is your true name Georgie Irene Jimenez?
Yes, Your Honor.
This is a time set for an initial appearance. You've been arrested on charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and disorderly conduct. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. I am going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you in this matter. State is asking for a bond in this case. Mr. Poston, anything else to add?
Your Honor, the state would just like to emphasize the absolute recklessness of a person who enters a car dealership and is, because she's upset with them, pulls a weapon on one of the employees and in full view of two other employees and puts them in immediate fear of severe injury or death. This is $50,000 is absolutely appropriate for a person like this.
Thank you. Per?
Thank you, Your Honor. I would ask you to give Ms. Mendez a shot on pretrial services. Her family informs pretrial services. She has some severe, both medical and mental health issues that I have seen reflected this morning. She has no recent failures to appear. Her only alleged criminal history is 25 years old. For all these reasons, she's engaged in therapy here in Tucson, and she has a lot of obligations out in the community she'd like to attend to. For those reasons, I would ask that you give her a shot on pretrial services. And she informs me that she does have 2 cats at home that need taking care of if she is held.
Thank you, Per. I appreciate counsel's argument. However, these allegations are extremely concerning. She's alleged to have not only pointed a gun, but pulled the trigger and could have killed somebody. So I'm going to find that she is an extreme danger to our community. I understand she may be struggling with mental health issues. She's going to need to get help, but I'm going to order that she be held on $50,000 cash or secured bond. If you post that bond, possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, possess no firearms or weapons, and you'll be monitored by pretrial services. No contact whatsoever with the alleged victims or the incident location. Your next court date is your preliminary hearing, February 7th at 1:30 p.m. in Pima County Justice Court. Do you understand, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, that's all for today.
It's your lawyer's number. Give them a call. If you get out, call pretrial service.
Okay.
Okay. I'll be out there to answer questions in a few minutes.
I just need to get a hold of a bondsman.
Okay.
They just hit me to my bank. I don't have anyone else to call for.
Be out there.
Okay.
I'll get to a few minutes.
Santa Cruz.
Okay. Good morning, ma'am. Is your true name?
Good morning.
Is your true name Lucinda Marie Santa Cruz?
Yes, Your Honor.
This is the time set for an initial appearance. You're here on a city court case. You also have, let's see here. Give me just a minute here. You've also been arrested on felony charges. For flight from a law enforcement officer. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. I am going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you in the felony case. State is recommending that you be held on a bond. Anything to add, Neil?
No, Your Honor.
Pear?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd ask that you give Ms. Santa Cruz a shot off pretrial services. This is a non-violent offense. She has no violent history. She has no felony convictions, and she is a lifelong community member. For all those reasons, I would ask that you give her a shot off pretrial services today.
Thank you. So, Ms. Santa Cruz, I do see that you don't have a felony history, but we are going to be talking about failure to appear in city court. My inclination in that case is to hold you on a small bond because it's a 2023 case. So what I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to order that you be held on $1,500 cash or secured bond. If you post it, you're going to be on pretrial services release. Your next court date is February 7th at 1:30 p.m. for a preliminary hearing in Pima County Justice Court. You are to not drive without a valid license, no alcohol or illegal drugs. And in the city court case, I'm going to order that you be held on a $500 cash bond because you have failed to appear for the shoplifting case for several years now. You are to not return to the incident location. City public defender is going to represent you. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, that's all for today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Mr. Tillman.
Good morning, sir. Is your true name Gino Jesse Tillman?
Yes.
This is the time set for an initial appearance. We're going to talk about several misdemeanor cases where you have failed to appear. And we're going to talk about felony case that you've been arrested for: trafficking and stolen property in second degree, possession of a narcotic drug, and possession of drug paraphernalia. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. I will appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. We'll talk about the felony first. State is recommending that you be held on bond. Here.
Thank you. I'd ask that you give Mr. Tillman a shot on pretrial service. Violent offense. He has no violent history. He is a lifelong community member. For all these reasons, pretrial services is appropriate. Thank you.
Your Honor, he's a 6 out of 6 and admitted what he was going to do with the stolen merchandise, and state believes that a bond is necessary to ensure he stops stealing and also shows up at trial.
Thank you. Court does agree with the state, and will order that the defendant be held on $5,000 cash or secured bond. Preliminary hearing is February 7th at 1:30 p.m. Pima County Justice Court. Do not return to the incident location, sir. No alcohol or illegal drugs, and monitoring by pretrial services. And now we need to talk about, let's see here. Okay, so you have a South Tucson City Court case. I'm going to order that you be held on $500 cash bond. Your next court date is tomorrow, January 29th at 10 a.m. That is for a theft and drug paraphernalia charge. Your attorney is Michael Vaughn. We'll give you his contact information. No alcohol or illegal drugs, and do not go to that incident location. And now we will talk about the multiple city court cases that you have, sir. You've been arrested on multiple charges of theft, shoplifting, assault, criminal damage, theft, disorderly conduct, possession of drug paraphernalia, several other charges of theft and shoplifting, drug paraphernalia, and criminal trespass. And these charges are also several years old where you have failed to appear. So I am going to order that you be held on $500 cash bond. City public defender will be appointed to represent you. Possess no alcohol or illegal drugs. Possess no firearms or weapons. Do not go to the incident location. Your next court date is February 7th at 1:45 p.m. in front of Judge Mayhew, Tucson City Court. That's for a pretrial conference. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, that's all for today. Oops. And then we were able to secure a sign language interpreter. So I'd like to try with Miss. Yeah. So I'd like to, are they on Teams though? Yes.
That's them right there.
How will that? She see her?
We can see her.
Yeah. You can see me.
We'll try.
It should work. I've done this before.
She's also, she also cannot see. Very
Oh,
a little bit of a wrinkle there.
She was getting very close to the screen, so I don't know if she might be able to see if the court allows her to get up right next to the screen.
Absolutely. We'll try. If not,
is your screen at the jail pinned so it's big? Those three little dots.
Oh yeah. Great.
Okay. Okay.
if it doesn't work, we can continue her to the PM session and try again somehow.
Yeah, so I'll staff my office and see if I can find some more information about her. If that's what we have to do.
Okay. Thank you, Pear. Okay, these are for you. Thank you. Let me see.
I'm asking her if she can see me. She's saying she's deaf.
Okay.
She's saying she
All right.
can't see. I'm not.
Okay. So we're gonna try. So we're gonna have her come up close. Come up close. All right. Good morning. Is your true name Leslie Broderick?
Does she know sign language? I'm not sure she knows sign language. Can you see me?
Do you know sign language?
Okay. Can you see her? You want to try to?
Do you sign? Do you sign? You sign? Yes?
He's nodding. Okay.
Okay.
Is your name Leslie Broderick?
A long time at the house. Last name Robbie. But my friend was like, hey, baby. Like I made a one time accidentally. I became one. Last name is Elizabeth.
Your name used to be Leslie Broderick?
I don't mind going by Leslie Broderick, but it seemed to be slowly. I had to bet the whole people once time.
Okay. So, Pear, I'm not feeling real comfortable that she's competent right now. Let's pass this to tonight.
Is this a Paris suspended parent? Oh,
Okay,
I'm not really sure how to solve this issue.
that's it.
Thank you to the ASL interpreter.
You're welcome.
I'm assuming the PD's office may contact you if they feel that maybe they want you to come down to the jail. I'm not sure, but we're gonna pass this over to tonight.
We just have a yeah, for library.
thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate.
All right, that's all for today.
No.